Hello, my name is Shrees. I'm a licensed attorney authorized to practice in Maryland, and I want to talk to you today about Maryland indecent exposure law and the punishment that results if you're convicted of this charge. So, to begin with, indecent exposure means intentionally exposing one's private parts in a public place. The exposure must happen with the intention, and the episode should result in the exposure of the private parts. In Maryland, revealing indecently in the public is a common law crime, which means it is defined in case laws and not in statutes. However, the penalty for indecent exposure in Maryland has been stated via the indecent exposure statute. The major elements that describe indecent exposure in Maryland are the willful and intentional exposure of one's private parts, which includes genitals, buttocks, or female breasts, in a public place and in the presence of others. The charge for exposing indecently may well affect prison or fines. Further, it can harm the reputation of the perpetrator and the ability to find employment. No matter how innocent the action happens to be, the accusation for indecent exposure must be taken seriously and dealt with properly. If you're convicted of indecent exposure, it will certainly affect your character and reputation in terms of how you are perceived by the community and how it may impact you in your job. While many people think of indecent exposure as an inconsequential crime, that's not the case. If you're convicted of indecent exposure in a public place, then you could face substantial penalties. You can even face indecent exposure charges if you're inside of your residence but seen by another person. You do not want to be in a situation where you are standing without clothes on by the window and somebody perceives it as you exposing yourself to them. Now let's talk about indecent exposure in terms of the penalty. It's codified in Maryland Criminal Law 11-107. According to the indecent exposure statute in Maryland, a person found guilty of indecent exposure is guilty of a misdemeanor and is subject to imprisonment for up to 3 years, and he or she may be liable to pay a fine amount that may go up to $1,000. In conclusion, it also may result in situations, if it's coupled with other charges, being required to register on a sex offender registry. If you're being accused of indecent exposure in Maryland and you're worried about how it may impact your life, contact an experienced criminal defense attorney immediately. I can tell you that as an experienced criminal defense attorney, I have defended these types of charges numerous times, and I will be glad to help you. Call my office at 888-437-7747 for help. I look forward to helping you. Thank you.